So here I am with a bunch of trees, right? And I put the disk to the cloner, but if I will increase the count, it will put trees where I don't want to, right? I don't want to put trees, so I need to create my own. So I need to create a polygon where to put trees. So I do the following. I put here, and now I don't drive points with, so I don't do this to draw polygons, but I will use the Polygon Pen, which is create or mesh Polygon Pen, and I go to polygons, okay? And with the mid click I can increase this brush, and with that I can paint polygons like so, and then I paint here, okay? I go a little bit closer, make it a little bit smaller, then I paint here and here, and this will be my tree cloner, okay? I grab my cloner, turn it on, and put the tree cloner in there, okay? So it will clone trees only to that, but now I will, in the tree parameters, I turn down the viewport levels, okay, to 1, because it will be fast then. This is another thing you don't have to do in Twinmotion, because we always need to optimize the viewport in Corona. So I hide the tree cloner, okay, and I grab a new material called grass. But ironically, the grass will be 50% gray material, right? I go here, and I put it on. I put it on. And I would like to use a good white material on the house, like that. But I want to select the windows like this, and I want to make a new material, and I want to apply gloss. You know, gloss is just reflection, refraction, and thin, like that. But I don't want the white material to be affected, so I press the UI, which is invert selection. I select this little ball here, and I go set selection. If you don't have this, you just go to the Corona layout, which I prepared for you, or just go select and set selection, and you put it here, and you put it into the selection slot. So we will make sure that the white material and the glass material are not colliding, okay? So let's see a render. Let's see what we got here. We have a Corona camera. Let's set up a Corona camera, and let's see a 75% perspective, okay? Because that's a good perspective. Let's watch it from here. Let's see. And we always have to make sure that the 2-point perspective is set up, okay? So if I'm too low, I have to use this field offset button like that, okay? because I need the 2 points perspective. My y-axis cannot be distorted into any direction, right? And let's put a character, some character to figure. Bless you. Let's put a character here, okay? Let's put one here. These will be our scalars. So we know how big is this whole thing. I press the NQ to disable all materials, okay? I save it, save the whole project, and now I turn on the interactive rendering. And let's see what we got here. Yeah, okay. It doesn't look bad, but we need more tree, and we need an HDR sky if it's possible. So I grab my cloner and type in, let's say, 200 trees. And do I have a random effector? And like the parameter, and the cloner I just put in 1.5. Or the easier thing is I go to tree parameters and tree size 1.5. It's 1.100%. And I even can introduce another type of tree. Let's say extensions, forested tree, and let's put in a tree library. And let's say put in a Morton. Let's put in a maple tree. It's big. And put it into the cloner. Okay, so now we have to convert these materials, right? Convert scene, convert, and I need to do the diffuse translucency, turn on, and I need reflection glossiness to, let's say, 0.6. Good. And let's say the trunk bumpness to 100 or 200. Make it really bumpy. And you will understand soon why do I use 50% gray for the instead of the grass. Okay, so now I press save. Always press the save button because Corona can crash anytime because of the clone amount. You know, I raised the clone count to 200 trees. That's a lot. You see, it's suffering even to starting the IR. What I usually do, I just turn off the trees behind me. Just split the polygons and turn them off. I think it will be good enough now, but I want some shadow here because we need shadows to this area, right? So what I'm gonna do is just grab this. I take a look where my camera is. Here's my camera. I grab my maple tree and put one here. but do it as an instance. So maple tree instance and put it here, right? It will make us good shadows. And let's put one here. And let's put one just here. Let's see this way. Okay, I turn them on. And for the Corona sky, I guess I will use now an HDR image shader, HDR, and I will use a good HDR image. G, download. Not Photo Studio. No. 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 Tiergarten. I have files here. I just have to find them. Ah, here I have it. Let's go, my favorite one, the CVA. Or let's go with the NVA. Oh, sorry. This is not the open section. I have to put it in here. I turn it off. While I'm rendering, I turn it off. Okay. And now I don't even try to run the IPR because I know it's gonna crash. I make it to 80% like that, and I just grab a little more. Or I can do it if I set the maple tree and the apple trees rendering levels. You see the maple tree render levels are 8. Maybe if I turn it up to 1 and 1, let's see, and I save it and I turn on the interactive rendering, it will be fast because we cannot see anything. Do we have Corona sky? Oh, okay, this is not it. This is it. Yeah, this is it. But I don't know, what if we I just want to have a clue with some leaves. Just a clue. Maybe now I use this trick, and if I have this tree cloner, you see, I can delete these. because they are not seen by the camera, but they are reflected on the window. Okay, so leave them as it is. Reflected here. Okay, set the camera coordinates back to 0 because it's important. You see, because of the 0-degree y-axis, and press. And now I set them. Let's say I go for the render levels here are 3. What if I go 4? Let's go 4 here. Go 5. Let's go 5 here. It's a bit tricky. Render level default is 7. What if I go with 5? Five is too much. It's just way too much leaves. Let's go with 4. But even for the render levels, 4 is enough. And let's see the maple tree. The maple tree has a 5. Let's see. I turn off the cloner to make things happen faster. So viewport level 5, 6, 7. What's the default? 7. Yeah, 7 will be good. You see, so this is the fine tuning of the and this is what it takes a lot of time. That's why I don't like doing it. Okay, turn on the cloner, or we can just put the trees manually. That's an option too. To make them fast, to make the rendering faster. Let's say we put the maple instance here and there. So we're just creating a smaller scene, and let's make it viewport level for the maple tree 4 because it will be faster then. Okay. These are for the sake of the reflection. Let's go with the apple tree. Let's decrease the apple tree to 3 as well. And let's create an apple tree instance, good render instance, and put it here, 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 here. Let's put some maple trees here, here, here. Yeah, so I'm just putting it by hand. And I will make the maple tree a little bit bigger. Let's say tree size 1.2. Okay. And let's make it bigger. Let's put one here and here. And as you can see, they are not rotated randomly, right? They are all the same. We will fix that soon. And of course, we will need a background. A good background. I'll try to solve the background problem as good as I can. I press Control S as saving the image. I make sure that all my instances are render instance. That's good. Control G. And what I'm going to do is turn these off. Oh, I can turn these off, sorry. Render instance. Render instance. Good. And what I'm going to do is to rotate them randomly. Shift C and randomize. Enter. And rotation 1000 apply. And as you can see, it will rotate them random, totally random. And now let's see, does it work with the image editor or the Corona render or not? Yeah, it looks quite good and fast. You see, we have a light here, but the trees are big. Maybe a bit too big. Yeah, it can be. Let's choose another HDR because this HDR is too low. Sunlight is too low, and I want to make it. I want to make a little light come here. But can you see these? This is just fantastic, amazing. I love it. Let's choose another sky. Let's see this 1001. Let's try. And this is better. It looks better. And you ask that how are we going to put the grass in? How the earth will be it is impossible, right? It seems impossible. First of all, I turn the figures off, okay, because I need this to be gray, okay, gray. And now I will stop this, and what I'm going to do is to click on the multipass, enable multipass, and I need the mask ID and materials, and then the basic. I need the direct light, the indirect light, I need the reflection, the translucency, and maybe that's it. Cool. And now I make it a little bit bigger, like 1200, because I need to work it a bit in Photoshop. And I press the render button, okay? We will wait 5 minutes, then we stop it, okay? I think 5 minutes is enough for Corona to make this little image. You see this? This is the UHD cache method. This is the pre-calculation happening. This is what we turn off when we turn on the force path tracing button in the Corona settings. That's why we can move our camera fast, because it doesn't have to pre-calculate this one, right? So we have this alpha, which is good because we can insert background later, okay? And we have the material ID pass, which is very good because with colors, we can select the surfaces in Photoshop. And we have a direct lighting is good because you will see why. And here is our indirect light. This is the GI, the global illumination. This is the reflection on the the leaves, and this is the translucency on the leaves. This is important because if we want more glossy leaves, we can, or if we want more translucency, then we can add it. So we can control our image later, right? But it already looks good, even with this gray surface. Okay, so let's go for a 5-minute break. Then let's come back and finish the editing. I cannot, unfortunately, I cannot make it pause, just cancel or stop. So I do not stop it. Okay. You forward it. Hi. Yeah. It happens. It happened to me so many times. We wait for the others, then we continue. Okay, because rendering looks quite okay now. Until I look after some grass images on Unsplash. Let's go to unsplash.com and go for grass field. Okay, grass field, and let's see what can work for us. I want park-like grass. I mean, which is handled properly. Cut it properly. Yeah, this is not bad. This is maybe a little bit too. I don't. This is stock. Yeah, this is stock. Let's see, what do we have? Let's open this one. Let's open this one. We need to consider the perspective as well. So we need a very big image to have. Very loading. And the best if it's not lit too much, if you understand, because if so this is good. This one is good. So I download it. Type cross 01. Download this one too. Large is enough. Grass 02. And download the large size. Yeah, this is not that good because it's lit by the sunlight from a direction. And grass home and go 03. Let's try this one. Okay. And of course, let's try this one because this is not bad as well. So I go for a large texture. We are just downloading images from Unsplash now. Grass 04. This is from Decenta. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. She don't know about Santa. Santa
I didn't know that today, but I know what.
Santa sent me cappuccino and chocolate.
Yeah.
How cool is that guy? Thank you really much.
Yeah, that's Santa.
Okay, so we have downloaded 4 images, as you can see. And now I go back to Cinema and I press stop. Okay? And what I'm going to do here now is first I press Control C. Okay? I open Photoshop, my favorite or second favorite program after Cinema. Yeah, but no problem. I never drink sugar. You? And some why Corona export the image with too little resolution, so I need to type 150 and Control V, right? And here is our render in Photoshop directly from the image editor. Great. Go back to the image editor. Let's copy alpha channel, Control paste. Let's copy the ID channel, Control V. Let's copy the direct, and this is very important. Now let's go. I missed the indirect, and I copy the reflection channel as well. So I have these channels, okay? This is my basic channel, this is my background channel, this is my selection channel, this is my direct channel, this is for lighting, and that one is for the reflection. So if I want to make them more reflective, I will show you what to do. And now let's open our download section and take a look around. What do we have? What did we download? So this grass is lit by sun, right? It's a sunlit grass. Let's go to the second one. It's sunlit as well. Maybe this is the best one, but yeah, it's a little bit not that beautiful. But first, let's try this one. I say, put it here, okay? Just drag and drop it. And this is big enough. Okay, let's go. Where's the perspective? Let's say here's our perspective, right? And I put this over the stack, and I press the W, which is the magic wand tool. Click on this, turn it off, click here, and I press this button. So I have grass, and wow, that was the magic, Levy. Well, okay, it looks good. Now I load again, and I need to mask this. This is the direct lighting pass, and I need to mask this as well. And what I'm going to do is I set it to overlay, and with this and with that I got the shadows over it. But now, as you can see, this is too bright. I need to apply color management to it. So I grab my grass, I grab my hue and saturation layer and clip it. You see, it only affects this layer. And I grab the hue and turn it to greenish, okay? Pull down the saturation, make it a little bit bluer, and I go to the yellows, and I try to match these two, okay? And I make the lightness a bit darker as well of the yellows, okay? Because this grass has too much yellow in it, way too much yellow. So this is without saturation, and this is with saturation. It looks quite consistent now, right? It looks quite good. We have shadows and everything. And the direct pass gave us the shadows. So we can say we did a quite okay job. Let's go with editing. As we can see, these are too perfect, right? These edges are too perfect and makes our image look a bit fake. Now what we're gonna do is create a new layer on the top, and we name it to patch. And what I'm gonna do is to use the clone stamp tool. And for the clone stamp tool, we need the grass brush, which is the 134. Okay, and current and below, instead current and below, let's go all layers. I press the Alt key, click here and I press the cross there. Okay? This is it. So now there I have grass there. This is a tiny thing, but it's really important to have that, okay? Because there is no perfect connection there. Well, this doesn't matter. Let's say we work a little bit on this one. And let's say we work a little bit on this. You know, just to make a little bit imperfect, okay? Imperfection. Just put some imperfection to the grass. It pays out because we don't have to render out 500 million grass. So it's just it's a little post work, and it totally. I drop everything and then paint. I drop and paint. Okay, so this is what I have here. I made it imperfect. And this looks good. It totally looks good, right? I mean, believable. Okay, now let's give the scene a bit. Well, we talked about the reflections, right? And I don't need reflections to the trees. It's fine. What I do need is reflection to the glass. How do I do that? First, I don't have to select by hand because I have this selection layer. So I click here with the magic wand and I just make this one and I set it to screen mode or something like that. You see, it gets a totally new level of reflection. Or I set overlay or set it soft light. But let's go for the color dodger screen, which is we usually use, but now let's just play with the opacity and let's do that. Okay, now we are almost ready. So this is the patch. We can turn it off and on. You see, it's good because it's not non-destructive at all. Let's make a little brightness and contrast in this because I find it too darkish. I want to make it a little bit. Take a look at that. It's a little better. And let's do the same on the house. Let's just use the brightness and contrast. You see, it's a little, it's pop out a little bit more. I like it. And now let's create some atmosphere. I go back to Corona. And on the beauty pass, I go to the post. First of all, I can apply a lookup table which will colorize our image a bit. You see? Lookup table. There are a bunch of lookup tables I can choose from. But now what I'm really interested is the bloom and glare function. And I go now crazy with this. Let's say 10. And I go with the threshold with 0.5. Okay. You see it? You see it? And let's say go 30. Even bigger. And press Ctrl C I press Control V. Now this is what I want. And now I want to set it to lighten mode or screen mode. No, lighten will be fine. And of course I have to delete what I don't need. So look at that. I put on a mask. It's white. I invert the mask to black. So the whole stuff disappear. And then I will grab my brush tool. I go for white and I go with the opacity like that. Okay? It will make me hardness is 0, and if I paint here, I can paint okay, let's take it. I can paint light here and there. You see? I can paint with light. I get a little bit of glow, but of course I never need this, so I delete it. I only need that stuff. Okay? Maybe I can just use it as it is, but of course I need to delete this. And let's say I just pull down the opacity to 50% if I find it too much. Okay? So that is compositing. Okay? And of course I have to delete it from areas I don't need. This is a customized logic of rendering. Okay. And what to do now? I will make the master shortcut. Please remember Control Alt Shift and E. So it turned it to a layer. So if I group all the layers I worked on and I turn them off, I can check the before and the after. You can see it's better. It looks better. Okay. And basically, what else do I need? Maybe I want to turn on the figures like so, go out shading, and insert this. How do I do this? Take a look. I go to the viewport render, okay, and I press Shift R, and it will render me this, okay, and I just press Edit, Copy, and Paste. And why is it good for me? Because there are the people here, so I will know how to insert people into the scene, okay, how big they are. Another stuff is good to know. I don't know if I have keyvalutandere. Let's try some. Just a second, please. Let's try to use them. So if I just put it here, I can't be sure am I doing good or not. So I turn on my checker, I put it here, and as I can see that I'm doing not good, or almost good, but I have to set them like here. Okay? And if I introduce another figure, I don't know, maybe her, it will be this. Okay, that's the trick. And now, of course, I have to make them dark because they are in the shadow. So I grab some curves adjustment and clip it to them. And what I have to do is to make them dark. Not that dark, but dark. And maybe I need to desaturate them a little. And what I have to do is to make the contact shadow. The contact shadow is a layer, and you don't do anything, just 100% soft brush stuff, and then you distort it and put under them. Okay, rotate it a bit, make it a little bigger. And adjust the opacity, like for example these are two shadow layers, and adjust the opacity to 50 or 60 or so. Okay, so this is the shadow, because without the shadow they will be not in the scene. This is the contact shadow, and this lady needs a curves adjustment as well, so I have to make her dark. Okay, because she is. I always put people in the shadows, because or only one or two, because they I have to draw shadows to them, and that's not so. I usually do that with 3D scanned people, by the way. Yeah, so this is it. I make another monster shortcut. This is another group, Control Alt Shift E. So this is my image, right? I put in maybe a gradient filter. I would love to use the camera raw filter, but in Photoshop I cannot use. But check that out. I create a new layer and I create a gradient like this one, from to the top to the bottom, and I set it to multiply. This is good because it will darken the top a little bit of the sky. Okay, and this is good for us. And then what another thing to do is to create an ellipse here. Okay, because this will be the focus point of the image. So I grab and create a curves adjustment layer, and I do things like that. I click on it and I grab the feather and I make it big, so it will be like a brush tool. Okay, because this is my focus point, I have to make everything dark and the focus point light. This is the most important thing, because the focus is very, very important. Without focus you can't have a good image. Okay, And if I invert, and if I make another curve and I invert it, you can see that I do not want this. What I want to do is exactly the inverse of this, okay? Without, you see, it's drastic change. I mean, really, really important to do that. Darken everything but the and make the main focus a little bit just a little bit lighter, okay? This is really important. And yeah, then basically this is it. Then you can use a LUT, for example, a color LUT for the end, the very end, like Advantix from Corona, or HDC looks quite good. Yeah, this one looks good as well. But never go too harsh with them, okay? Never go too harsh. Like this, for example, is if you can use it, but always go down with the opacity and use it on a very low level, okay? Like, let's say I like it, but I just want to use it as a something like that, okay? It's changed the mood of the image, okay? So there are lookup tables, but I always try them on full strength. FCI, look at that. It's how beautiful is that? I like it really much. This gold look is good as well. I like it. Yeah, maybe after this gold look, you can go with a little bit of color balance. There's a color balance tool, and then you grab the shadows and give it a little bit of blue, because the blue will give it a really cool touch to it. Look, before and after. Or I can put this in here. You see, it's really, it looks really good. And where's my curves? Maybe I made it too darkish, but pull it a little bit up like that. And maybe I pull it. You know, I have to see the whole image. And then, on the other hand, you can paint with light as well, with just create a overlay layer, and you will start paint with white, but not 100 opacity, just let's say 10, and then you can make the image. You can play with lights, so on. It's a bit low for me now. I mean, Photoshop, too many layers. But I wanted to show you this as a final. Okay. This is not white. Wow, that's slow. But look at that. It looks good now. You see? Just a tiny light into the focus of the image. And it will be totally fine. So we at the end we had a good image. Okay. I mean I'm quite satisfied. Okay, so that's it. I can stop it now.